Well, we are at a very special juncture now. We have more and more scientific evidence that we are at risk of destabilizing all the global commons on planet Earth. The impacts are occurring earlier than we had expected, and they're hitting harder than we had predicted. Victims number one are the most vulnerable, poor developing countries in the world. This is why we have to act now.
Climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time. It threatens the lives and livelihoods of people worldwide. Through the Paris Agreement, nearly all countries of the world have made a commitment to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions and limit global warming to preferably 1.5 degrees. The industrialized nations have a historical responsibility for climate change, and they continue to have particularly high per capita emissions, so they have to be climate action leaders. Simultaneously, greenhouse gas emissions in developing and emerging economies are rising rapidly. These countries already account for 2/3 of global emissions. Determined efforts for climate change mitigation and adaptation create new opportunities for innovation, employment and sustainable prosperity.
Deutschland und vor allem das Bundesentwicklungsministerium unterstützt Schwellen- und Entwicklungsländer beim Klimaschutz und bei der Anpassung an den Klimawandel. Das BMZ arbeitet an besseren internationalen Rahmenbedingungen zum Klimaschutz und bringt die Klimapolitik mit globalen Initiativen voran. Das BMZ leistet rund 85% der internationalen Klimafinanzierung Deutschlands. Dabei benutzen wir eine Vielzahl bewährter und innovativer Methoden und Instrumente.
In this way, the BMZ contributes toward international climate financing and toward making international financial flows climate neutral. The Ndc Partnership is a global alliance of governments and multilateral institutions. It helps developing and emerging economies to achieve ambitious climate targets.
NDCs make the Paris Agreement actionable. Governments identify their NDC implementation priorities and the type of support that is needed to translate them into action. Based on this, members work together to offer the right package of expertise, technical assistance and funding, so that developing countries can create policies, programs and projects to tackle climate change through one of its flagship programs, the Climate Action Enhancement Package, or CAP. 67 partnership countries led the way in raising their climate targets in the lead-up to COP26 by providing support in 26 countries and deploying over 12 million euros through the program. Germany's support has been key to this colossal achievement.
The consequences of climate change are hitting the poorest hardest.
Noho ny fiovan'ny toetr'andro ary amin'ity haintany toy zany de maro ty fiantraika amaay. Voaloha tsy managny vokatry zahay. Amin'ty faharoa na ty biby fiompy zany tsy misy raha hohany.
Through the Insure Resilience Global Partnership, the BMZ pursues global efforts to enable people to protect themselves comprehensively and actively against climate risks, enabling them to better cope with the consequences of extreme weather events.
And insurance can be a good way in which you can build better understanding around the risks that people, communities, businesses, governments face, but importantly, some of the steps and measures that they can take to fundamentally reduce that risk, but also better manage it in general. Affected people benefit from the Insure Resilience Global Partnership through having a platform where there is a focus on trying to develop solutions that are specific to the needs of those communities. It's about how do we make sure that people have the right protection, the right access to financial instruments that could help them recover faster and better when they do have disasters affecting them.
The energy sector accounts for more than 2/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions. Global support for renewable energy will slow down climate change and give as many people as possible access to climate-neutral energy, which is key to sustainable development.
Die Hälfte der Bevölkerung in Afrika hat keinen Zugang zu Strom. Davon leben 90% im ländlichen Raum. Und genau diesen Menschen müssen wir eine Perspektive bieten. Mit Energie können wir Armut und Hunger überwinden, Arbeitsplätze schaffen und Frauen fördern. Aber natürlich nur mit erneuerbaren Energien. Viele Länder in Afrika können das Kohlezeitalter vollständig überspringen. Das Bundesentwicklungsministerium fördert deshalb auch solche Programme. Unsere grüne Bürgerenergie zum Beispiel geht in den ländlichen Raum mit Akteuren vor Ort, lokalen Unternehmen, verbessern wir die Lebensqualität. Aber natürlich klimafreundlich und klimagerecht.
Development and climate are closely interlinked. The BMZ has launched many initiatives in areas such as urban development, energy, agriculture, mobility, circular economy, water and disaster risk management to assist its partner countries in the transition to climate neutrality and resilience. This is a huge task, but also a huge opportunity for sustainable economic and social development.